So everyone, welcome. It is very wonderful to be with you all. I'm here with some beautiful beings in person. And for anyone that's accessing this recording after the fact, then you are so wholesomely welcome. And I hope that whatever you feel you're coming to the session needing, wanting, seeking, that you find a piece of that. We're doing a practice today to really allow ourselves to drop into presence. And I'll explain a little bit about why that's significant, and that will also give you a framework for my own profession, my own practice. So my name's Anthea Bell. I'm an embodiment coach, which essentially means that I work with mind and body across somatic practice, across more cognitive thought-based practice, and across techniques that have some similarities to meditation and hypnotherapy to really allow people to create within themselves a sense of integration. And so what does that mean? Well, essentially, I suppose we could think about where we come from that is not integrated. If you notice even just your body, your being in this present moment, then you might get a sense of elements that are not currently sitting in balance. Maybe there's a feeling of anticipation. We're leaning into the screen, kind of desperate to find the answer to a question that hasn't yet formed. Or we're noticing an area within your physicality that is uncomfortable. Or even you're aware that somewhere in your mentality, somewhere in your emotional landscape, is content that is somewhere underneath the surface and is impacting your day-to-day experience, but isn't yet conscious enough to allow you to be with it, sit with it, support it, and eventually to allow it to dissolve. What we tend to find both with issues in the body and issues in the mind and issues, let's say, in the spiritual realm, is that a lot of the problem is a lack of equilibrium. Now, there's a concept within the body called homeostasis, and it essentially is exploring this idea of a balanced landscape where your tissues, your cells, your organs, your hormonal functions, they all work with one another in a fluid rhythm. And it's the same, of course, with parts of our psyche, that what we look for is a sense that all parts of me, all different forms of emotion, all different characters within me, however, whichever modality you choose to work with, that those elements are, broadly speaking, in a place of suspended energetic balance, whereby no one force is regularly dominating the landscape. And you'll know, even now or in periods in your past, having had the experience of being out of balance, because everything that we see and experience is tainted by a particular lens. So Patrick, who some of you know, some of the people that are here in person, who you know, he and I were talking a couple of days ago about what happens when fear grows so strong that we feel as though we're walking around in it, in a cloud, in a sort of fog. And it's really come right to the surface, and it will impact the state of play within your tissues. You'll start to feel contraction. You'll start to feel postural changes as your sacrum curls under in that defeat stance and your shoulders round inwards. And even, I mentioned earlier on, this sense of moving into the screen, which is much more common when we're in a place of fear and in a place of adrenaline, that we zoom in. The zooming in comes from a desire to usually solve or control whatever it is that we're finding scary within our interior. And as you know, when you drop back, all of that content that's going on in your interior is to an extent a vision. To an extent, it's a mental construct. Are we necessarily able to feel that though in the moment? No. And so is it useful necessarily to try to logic or justify ourselves out of that response in the present, in the moment of the heightened anxiety or that slightly aggravated stance? Not so much. So what is it that then gets us back into balance? Well, the first thing is connecting to what is right here, right now. So for all of us, whether we're in motion, whether we're in seated, Whether you're joining me live, whether you're joining me after the recording, just going to encourage you for a moment to pause and to take a breath. And you can allow your eyes to be open or closed as supports you. And you're going to notice what is. And as you do that, no effort required. Just a little sense of dropping in. Yeah. And you can give it some time, sometimes we're very cursory with this experience. If you were to give yourself full permission that this was the greatest priority of your morning, and that drinking in each and every inhale was a form of soothing, a sense of comfort while you practice this, then really allow yourself permission to notice what is. What can you feel in the state of your physicality? Where's the tongue? What's the grip around the eyes or the neck or the shoulders? Where does your breath move into and out from? Is there movement there? As you breathe, as you allow life in with your inhale, how much is the structure of your body ready to receive? You're in a canvas of utter deep permission just to be. So you might imagine that all of the tasks of the day, all of the tasks of your life, your various responsibilities, they've all been gently stripped back. Let's say they're already done. Just imagine that for a moment. What is it like when it's already done? When you've already done it? And you're now living in the after effects of the work having been done. With that framework, how is it then to breathe? If you were to soften your eyes and soften your tongue, just those things, what would let go in your head, your neck, your shoulders? As those structures release, can you sense more space through the front of your heart? More opening through the diaphragm. As you take your next breath in, can you allow the diaphragm really to expand and drop with your inhale? Let the roundness of your belly expand to its fullness. How full could it be? Without strain, just with joy and full buoyancy. Could you let it be buoyant? The air moving through the back of the lungs, expanding you forward, sideways, and right behind you. And as you take the exhale, can you feel that sense of everything coming in towards your center line? And you feel the spine, this column of knowing that sits right in the center of you. Steely, milky white, a structure of support. Can you connect with that for a moment? It's been here the whole time, this spine of yours. A structure that supports the organs of the pelvis, that offers the ribs a starting point as they curl around the heart. This framework is here within you all the time. And it's as strong, as adaptable, as flexible in its makeup as you are. So allow yourself to know that just here, just now, you have the resiliency, the adaptability, the life-giving quality of your spine and your heart and your belly. And as you connect to that truth, allow anything that you were carrying, any dust in the body, anything active in the mind, allow it to dissolve with the knowledge that it might now be somewhat irrelevant compared to the totality of this. Now stay with this, soft eyes, soft tongue, and feel the heaviness of your seat on your chair, or if you're standing, your feet on the floor. Just for a moment there. Feel into that weight. And if you've just joined us, if you'd be happy to just mute your microphone just to make sure that we keep everyone in this space. Now, as you feel your pelvis on the seat connect to the sense of heavy legs, heavy lower limbs, soles of the feet dropping, and be inside the entirety of you. No boundaries, no barriers. As though you are made of liquid, which you are. And breathe as that. For now, this is all that matters. Being this. We're going to build from here. So begin to notice a quality of spaciousness in your heart. Not something you have to think about. You're just going to allow it to happen. Allow opening gently here. Like you're unfurling into warm sunlight pouring down on you. Notice the landscape that you're within as you receive this light. Baking onto your skin from the outside and coming from within you. Could you allow inner smiling here? Just that. Inner smiling. In an open heart. Can inner smiling create some shifts and subtle energetic changes throughout your body? Could you smile everywhere inside yourself? You're just going to open to allow this. And any resistance, no problem. We smile at that and we soften. You direct your gaze to any part of you that is presenting boundary, and very gently with tenderness, you welcome that part of you into the fold. And you offer the mantra, soften and flow. Soften and flow, and it releases. One or two more of those. Softening and flowing. Now, come back into the heart as though you're coming to rest there. And if it supports you, you can bring a hand onto the heart. It's to really give you a sense that your touch connects you to this space. And as you come into your very own heart, your invitation is to notice what's present for me today. What's here? And you're just going to notice unconditional, no judgment. What's here? Notice what the heart tells you. And see if you can stay in the experience and softly allow your eyes to open, staying in your heart, still soft eyes, soft tongue. And if you feel comfortable too, you can pop to the chat box and you can let us know, what am I finding in the heart today? Is it something physical? Is there memory here? Is there tenderness here? What do you notice? And there's no rush. And the space is open for you if you choose. And as you do it, just see if you can stay with it. Offering the words doesn't mean we have to move away from the sensation. And if you're not writing, just continue to breathe and bask in that warm heart space. Allowing yourself to just drop a little deeper away from thinking mind into this part of you. And I'm going to give those of you that are sensing in just another minute or so to feel what's here. Beautiful. So we've got tenderness, vulnerability, tears, wholeness, exactly. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Notice everyone else in the space, whether any of that resonates or whether those words are different from the words that you were offered. As you're ready, come and close your eyes again. And to that part of you that gave you that data, that intuition, you're just going to say thank you. And you're going to see if for a moment you could sit with the one that spoke, the little one, whatever part of you was able to find expression here. And as you acknowledge that part of you, we're going to slide a little bit deeper and we're going to come down right into the lower portion of your belly. We're dropping in right into the seat of you, imagining that you're coming into the middle of that pelvic bowl, right at your base. And if you're still up in the mind, no problem. Again, smile and soften at that and see if you could join me down here. Come and slide on down, right into this root. And be here and breathe here. And again, if it's a struggle to reach this place, bring a hand. Use your own touch to connect you. Allow yourself deep, full breath. Now notice the qualities that live here, deep in your belly, as your energy connects to this space. And some of you might have done this with me before, so you might find that the experience is clearer. If it's new, if it's the first time you've done this, maybe it's a new sensation that's quieter. So just stay with it, be gentle and curious, and allow it to unfold. Deepen and enrichen your breath. And come back to that feeling of the heaviness of your seat. And then from the inside of you, right at your base, what's here? Who is it that lives here today? Is there a feeling of strength, grounding? Does knowing, trust live here? Do you visit this place regularly? With easy bones and relaxed roots? Or is this an area you avoid? If you were to live your life from here, what would you find? How clear would you be? Would there be a knowing of what you want and what you don't want? Could there be a sense of everything already being here? Time does interesting things when we come inwards. Now again, if you choose, as you're ready, you're just going to share anything that you feel here, anything that you're aware of from here. And really allow yourself to breathe into it. And just noticing also if this part of you can have a connection to the heart space that you found above. Beginning to form that pathway of integration. And just give yourselves one more minute to explore this. The sense of enoughness that lives here. And then we'll take a state change in just a moment. And so if you're here, there's no rush. You just keep breathing, keep being. Trust in the value of spending this time with yourself. So we have the words power, no hesitation, dynamic, full, wide, exactly. And you are all of that. And the question is whether we allow ourselves to live from here. This is innate, this part of you. Readiness, strength, trust, beautiful. So, so good. So bask in those qualities and inside yourself. Whichever word was the word that was most present, most pertinent for you, you're going to use that word in a mantra internally, just saying once, I am dynamism and freedom. And see what it's like to allow yourself to be that. You're not thinking about it. You're being this. I am wholeness and freedom. I am readiness and freedom. I am strength and freedom. I am power and freedom. Let your body feel that. Let your energy feel that. The commitment to this is unquestionable. And this is yours. Always. And all the time. Let's continue to drop into that. Now we're going to visit one last center. I can be very specific about this. So still soft eyes, soft tongue. Allow yourself to travel into the middle of your skull. Right up there. Up and back, we're far away from the eyes. We're sitting back. And we are experiencing this as the seer, as the witness. Noticing the sense of space, intelligence, wisdom that lives here. Can you allow yourself really to sit back into this? Feel the inner smiling quality that might naturally emerge here. So much at your fingertips to access. Come right into it. Notice the qualities, the words here. Notice the experience of that. Notice how your body experiences that. Allow yourself to be this. Full permission. Easy. Everything else dissolving away. And again, staying inside it. Feel free to pop to the chat box and let us know the words that arise to describe this place within you. This profound seeing center. So much power here. Just notice how it feels to be in this as opposed to anything else in your body. Already you might have a sense of which of these spaces you love to be in today. Which of them do you need today? How much time do you spend communing with the center of your head? How would your work practice be if you lived from here? What would your clients feel? What do they feel? Hmm. Clear seeing. These are the words we have. Clear seeing without emotional worry. Humorous. Yeah, there are smiles emerging. Instinctive smiles. We can take ourselves a little seriously when we're not really connected. Everything starts to feel like pressure, and our bodies follow that instruction. So, this is the tour of being that we've just experienced, these three places within you. Now, feel for a moment that sense of the spine unifying all of them. Your head, your heart, your belly, feel whole. Be total. Just be that. No exceptions, no doubt, just be total. This is everything. You are everything. And it's all within you. Bask like you're floating in water. Breathe with the easy, strong, connected knowledge of that. And look at your life from this, as this. Notice the things that you no longer feel you need to do or be. Habits that could fall away. Belief systems that are no longer aligned to the person you now know yourself to be. How do you interact? How do you love? How do you allow yourself to receive interest, partnership, collaboration, excitement? Do you notice that you have everything you need for all of that? That it's all to play for, and that you can't get it wrong. You never get it done, and you can't get it wrong. And you're going to stay connected to this, and you can choose to stay as total, or you can choose to connect to one of those zones: middle of the head, middle of the chest, deep, low belly. So make your choice. Where do I want to live today? And then staying as this, you're going to allow your eyes to open. And look out from here. Look out as total you. And if you've got a piece of paper or a phone, just jot down some of the things that you've identified. And you're welcome to share them in the group as well. What became clear to that experience? What can you now see? From your deep belly, what's the indicated next action? We can move into the question of, do we allow the action? But let's identify the action first. Easy. Nothing we have to force, because all that we've done is go inward. Go inward to really allow yourself to notice what's here that lives underneath the busyness, underneath the play that sits on top. Let's give yourself 1 or 2 more moments there to really experience that. And then as you're ready, you save the page on your phone, or you look down at what you've written, and you make a commitment to honoring that, to coming back regularly to the part of you that gave you that clarity. It matters what's most truthful, what's most important to you. We're not playing here. This is the difference between joy, fulfillment, purpose, alignment, and a life that isn't quite right. And you matter enough to make that distinction. And you have everything that you need for it to come forth. It wouldn't be here as a knowing in you if you couldn't achieve it. And there will be help. There is always help. We're just pausing there and taking a cleansing breath in and a cleansing breath out. And there's going to be a sense of somewhat coming back into the space. So you can allow the animal of your body to take a few little gentle movements. That might mean coming up to stand. You could be doing formal movement. You could be yawning open, pandiculating like a creature. And then my invitation to those who are in the room is to feel free to unmute yourselves, even just for a moment, and share what you noticed. Share whatever you feel called to share, to have it in this space. We'll use that as an extra gateway to move into deeper content. And you just let us know what came up. Cameras on or off as you choose. And Andrea, there we go. Katie, hello.
Hello, thank you for that, firstly.
You're so welcome.
It was really, really, I can't think of the word to use, let's just say interesting, but it was more than that, to feel the different places, which I have, like this, it is part of my practice actually, but I've just thought that I haven't been going down to where I normally reside in my belly for quite a number of weeks now. You've pointed it out, and it was a real kind of shock to me to think that I'd moved up into my head so much.
Mm.
And I loved being in all the different places, and it was like they can feel like three different people, can't they?
Mm. Yeah,
And
the
that was also quite surprising to be reminded that they felt like three different people. And I felt emotional in the heart and tender. And like immediately when I came into this and saw your face, I just wanted to cry, which was interesting. Not in a bad way, but just, you know, in a lovely way. And then even more interesting is when I came to the last part. Did you say what action?
Yep.
Well, there was massive resistance there.
Mm.
I felt really angry
Mm.
and and sick. I had like a wave of nausea.
Katie, thank you so much for sharing that. If you're willing, can you tune in just for a minute and let me know, where does that live in your body, the anger and the nausea? Maybe it's the belly, but maybe it's not. You tell me.
That anger, it came from my head.
Mm. Okay, and what is it telling you? What is it trying to tell you? We don't need to reject it. We can welcome it too.
It's fighting with my fight and resistance towards action.
Mm. Okay, so you're just going to go really, really gently here. You're doing brilliantly. Just for a minute, drop into the middle of your skull, but you're going to be aware that you have the anger and the resistance at the front of your head. You just stay with that. You're doing great. Now, as you come into the middle of your head, very gently, you're just going to ask the question, what's really going on here? What's the truth here? And you're going to notice what arises.
It's confusion.
Mm. Keep going. You're doing
It's
great.
confusion. I'm kind of fighting myself about what my truth is.
Mm.
This
Stay
is,
with this. Stay with
you
this.
know,
This is
this right now for me is a big, well, it always has been, but I don't want to take any action
mm.
because I don't know, I don't believe that I know what the action is. And I just felt like forced into taking an action. But it wasn't obviously you, but that's what came up.
Mm-hmm.
And the resistance is I don't want to take any action.
This is really good. So stay with this. You're doing brilliantly. Okay. If you're willing, we're
Yeah,
just going
yeah.
to another layer deeper. So you're coming back into the middle of the head. Just for a second there, soft eyes, soft tongue. We're not discounting this part of you. This is a really important part of you. Soft tongue, Soft eyes, moving back from the lids of your eyes into the middle of your head. Now just be there and breathe there. And sense into that question again. Sweet one, what is the truth here? What's the truth here? You're just going to notice the answer. Gentle. And see if you can stay in it, in the middle of your head, till you allow the words to emerge. What do you notice?
Ironically, because who am I?
Oh, beautiful. So good. Okay, stay with that. So inside yourself, you're just going to thank yourself for the awareness, for the clarity. Okay, so we're going to slide right down into that heart. So not leaving anything that you've learned. We're sliding right down into the warmth of the heart space. Allow yourself smiling. Yeah, there it is. You know it's there. That's it. Allow your heart to feel that smile. Now, from your heart space, just going to ask the question, okay, so why is that important? Why is it important? Why does it matter? And you're going to notice the answer. Just noticing. The sense is there. Just have to allow it. And notice
I forgot what the question was, but the words that came up initially when I just went down there is I'm everything.
Isn't that wonderful? We have the question and we have the answer. Okay, so stay with this again, just thanking yourself for the intuition. Now let's go a little deeper. Come right down into that belly. Come right into that safe, strong place. Right in there, nestled in amongst the organs at the heaviest part of your body. Now you're just going to notice from there, does anything need to be done? Different question. Gentle answer from your knowing belly that loves you. There is only love here.
Just the word trust came up.
That's it.
To trust.
So inside yourself, my love, just once, I am trust and freedom. And then, Kitty, allow yourself to be that. Let it spread. I am trust and freedom. Breathe as that. Allow the exhale to release what is no longer relevant. Stay as this and just look out from here. Just allowing the eyes to open, but you're staying as this. This is what you are. And you are everything. Maybe nothing needs to be done. Well done. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was very powerful.
No, thank you. That was amazing.
How does it feel now?
Yeah, it feels many things. Kind of, I don't know, there's words for them. There's part of me that just wants to grasp onto that's just frightened of it leaving.
Right. It won't. The way to find it again is to find the anchor. Bring your hand onto your belly. Bring your hand onto your heart. Drop into the middle of your head. You have these places. All we've done is put some little flags. Yeah. And you know where I am. We're connected now. You can always get me to give you a refresher. Okay.
Thank you.
These are parts of you. They're nothing that I'm doing. These are you.
Yeah. Yeah, I needed that.
In which case, that's why we're here.
Thank you so much.
So welcome, Katie. Andrea, I see coughing, things releasing. If you're happy to unmute yourself, just let us know. How are you doing? What would you like to share? What's on your heart or your head or your belly?
I was not thinking about sharing.
Mm.
Sorry. um, this is one of my favorite experiences lately with you.
Mm.
And it's interesting that every time we do it or I do it, it goes a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mm.
And so even when sometimes it's like that awareness of, oh yes, this is similar to what was there before,
Mm.
but at the same time it's different because it's deeper. And it's really, it's beautiful, it's nice, it's good to know and feel that many words comes at the same time. It brings that clarity, it brings that trust, it brings that readiness, it brings that knowing that all is good, all is as it was planned to be, that I am on the right track, that I'm taking the right steps, including when I'm not taking any steps, any action. It's all good and it's all, it just feels right.
Mm. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I also feel it's important to give you voice. It feels very important to honor the substance of who you are and what you have created in this conference. So thank you very much for indulging me in turning on the microphone and expressing what's arising for you. And alignment is what comes to mind when you're describing it. Interestingly, it's often called the clarity method, some of what we just did. So there is definite intuited truth to that. And what you're describing about dropping deeper every time, well, of course, as you invest in these parts of you, you tap into them more easily. And that's really why this is a form of rebalancing, because let's say for a very long time, we've invested in externals or we've invested in the front of the head, or we've invested in the storyline that generates the worry, that generates the storyline. And so what we're doing as we're even considering this question of what is happy and successful is we're dropping into the truth that we feel inside that gets clouded almost always by fear. You and I had the most beautiful conversation recently ahead of this conference, talking about this concept that we can only really ever come from fear or love.
Yeah.
Fear or love.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that that's the case when we drop physically into the heart space. Yes, you might find tenderness there, but there will always be care. There will always be love there. That's its biological function. It generates life. So these are the practices really to allow yourself to use to resource. And especially if you're with me here now, or if you're listening, if you are in any way a creative, if you are in any way in process bringing things forwards, you need nourishment. And that nourishment comes primarily from giving yourself tender time with yourself. It's not the same as introspection or selfishness. It's very different. This is about building your own intimacy with you. At which point, like Katie says, you know that you really are everything. And that really nothing needs to be done. Because it's all happening. Eva, beautiful Eva, we see you. Hello, darling.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I need to go back home tonight, and I have to do this whole thing again, replay it. So please put it on YouTube by the time I get back. Oh, because I couldn't drop down. I couldn't focus on that. I was just listening to the beautiful voice, and I and to all the questions that you were talking to Katie about, and I was trying to think for myself, and there was I just hope you can't hear stuff is behind.
Oh, you're perfect.
Okay. So it's clear to me how desperately I need sun and softness inside. And how it's great timing for this summit, because it feels like so I'm doing lots of things anew and for the first time, or again but differently. And there's lots of courage in that. There's lots of insight I already have, but there's such need to have a guidance, to learn new stuff, to learn from people who know, or from Google or whatever, in so many avenues now. There's a lot of fear with that. And then the last bit you said, I said this 2 days ago on a Jenny May's session, that I've been craving meditation lately, and I haven't been able to bring myself to do that. And craving yoga, and just me time, the me time that nourishes the creative me. That's why I'm like this when you just were talking about that, because that's really, really strong. Yeah, good to hear it.
It's very
So
good.
I'll do this again tonight.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's available for you whenever you need it. And my sense is that you're in very deep work. You're in very deep work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay that it doesn't look clear. It doesn't at this stage. So what we have to do is we have to keep coming back to the faith that we have the push forwards for a reason. We're being literally frog marched from inside forwards, but without clarity in what it will end up looking like. You're not meant to know everything at the moment. It's not where things are for so many of us. And it's okay to recognize that within a group of people who also are in that. It's very
Oh, it's incredibly helpful. Yeah.
exactly. It's not wrong, you know. So please do take this and use it however you need, and be in touch with me however I can be supportive. Okay.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Keep
Thank
enjoying
you.
your croissant.
Oh, love you,
Oh,
Eva.
I'm down to the heavy duty things now, but I asked for a coffee. And there's another, like, I'm going through some health issues now. I have high blood pressure and we're dealing with that. And all the indications so far is that it's stress and it's life and it's anxiety.
Yeah.
And I was hoping it wouldn't be. I was hoping it would be something like, oh, it's a little lump in your kidney and you can get rid of it and everything will be fine. But I don't think it is. So, and also it's probably like minus something and I'm shaking outside. So I'm going to
Go back inside. Go back
have
inside.
my fake coffee and ponder about all of this. Right. I'm going to mute again.
We'll
And
see.
just love you guys. This is incredible. Okay.
We'll see you soon, love. Okay. So I'm wondering, is there anything that anyone else wants to share before we close? It feels like it's rounded. Andrew and I are nodding at each other. It feels very important to say that I really am here. Yeah. So we're connected in this way, and don't be a stranger.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's a privilege. All right. Andrew, thank you for the space.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just love you and the sessions with each of you. And well, as always, for anyone who watches, listening to the replay, please feel free to reach out to Anthea. There are all the contact details on all the different platforms, Instagram, Facebook group, website, YouTube channel, just everywhere. If you put in Happy and Successful Summit, you definitely will find us. And enjoy this as many times as you feel called to. And please do reach out to Anthea or any one of us. Thank you. Love you, Anthea.
Love you too, sweetheart. Take care, everyone. Bye again.
Bye for now.